Yo, what's up guys, welcome back, next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. So first match here in top 16 playoffs, we have, I guess like always, we start with the upper part. We have, I think, a rematch from, was it a couple of years ago? I don't think it was a, yeah, I think so, but I think it was a different build, and I'm looking at Rulers, right? Rulers, I think, was a different build compared to Chaos. I think good old Chaos, and seeing that, looking at the votes, I feel, again, before this matchup, I felt pretty much the same, that Chaos definitely did not have the advantage going in through this matchup compared to, well, basically full force Dragon Rulers having access to all the small babies, Super Rejuvenation, and especially Light and Darkness Dragon, which, again, has been mentioned in the comment section as well. You know, lads being superb, especially against older decks that have to invest those resources to drop the attack and potentially attack over it just to potentially fall for a bigger monster that's, you know, reborn off of the Light and Darkness Dragon effect. So again, like 50-ish or like, you know, 20-80, I feel is pretty much a rightful, how do you say it, like a good representation for both decks. So Chaos goes first, and this is, I guess, an okay-ish opening hand. And, you know, kinda capitalizing on a full Mirage of Nightmare. Plus, I was hoping, I mean, Ring of Destruction is this deck's only a few, you know, there are only a few potential interruption cards during your opponent's turn, and Ring of Destruction is one of them. So I was like, yeah, let's just set everything, draw 4, and hope that the Ring of Destruction is forced out, probably. And this could open up a spot for a potential Mystical Space Typhoon, drawn off of the 4 draws or the draw phase. Sadly, no Typhoon. And here is, I guess, where it goes downhill, especially, I mean, in this particular matchup where Rulers has access to triple Super Rejuvenation, which, you know, could let them draw 2, 4, 6 cards. I needed that Mirage of Nightmare to give me at least 5 draws in the long run, right? At least 4 draws plus the draw phase. And, you know, maybe use my Typhoon, a potentially topped Mystical Space Typhoon, to destroy it. So go for Scapegoats, Chained on Dracossack, but not the best. The Scapegoat tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon, so that Demok in hand is not live. Kiko here in this matchup is good. It kind of prevents the Rulers from not special summoning themselves from the graveyard, but banishing materials from the graveyard. So that, I guess, could be important. Here, again, save my hands, get Simi back, and I hope I can get something going with those, at least with Graceful Charity. Sadly not drawing any of my boss monsters, no BLS, no Chaos Emperor. Imagine drawing Emperor. I mean, Emperor, if you're not able to push for a game with Emperor, then it's kind of awkward, because again, Rulers, their graveyard is basically their second hand, and I mean, if Emperor is not able to do the, you know, the necessary burn damage, it doesn't really do that much. So Sark is a sick search card for this particular deck. Alright, so again, me having Kiko on board, again, prevents my opponent from banishing monsters from the graveyard. And then Mind Control, and I like definitely helped out, but I do top deck Emperor, and I was like, I'm 200 short. An option was here to normal summon Breaker plus Emperor, right? And then, you know, attack with Breaker into My Stroke, the Jin, and Emperor into My Stroke, but let's face it, you know, Breaker, I mean, My Stroke, it can be destroyed by battle if you don't detach, and obviously you're not going to detach, or, you know, if you're super low on life points, and if Emperor can still attack, and because this is pre-errata Chaos Emperor, you can still use its effect during the main phase too. Here I was like, okay, there is no answer or no starting play for Rulers, so let's go for it. Let's go for Yatta. Try to prevent the deck from, you know, using its draw phase next turn. Veiler is an instant out for Yatta. Problem is that Yatta stays face up on the field, and that's Veiler is an instant out for Yatta. It's kinda insane. Not so sure how much of a difference between both, like here's is between both these cards. Like Darkness Dragon is a super iffy card. Again, as I mentioned before, like against older decks which, you know, need to invest a lot of resources, Light and Darkness Dragon is superb against. And here, I guess, there's somewhat of a weakness as well to Light and Darkness. You kind of sit on it. You can't play your own unless you're able to tribute it. And this is so cool. This is a nice interaction, very similar to old school Treeborn Frog. You can keep using Simi's effect during the standby phase up until a point Light and Darkness Dragon is not able to negate anymore, so you can add Simi to the hand. And yups, painful choice, and there is no Veiler, so I can painful choice for Kiko, that's important. Kiko, so I can reborn Kiko, normal summon Sengen, that should be enough. first attack with Kiko, so I can banish the 2 monsters from the graveyard. Like this Darkness Dragon is destroyed. Would have been able to reborn something, there is nothing in the graveyard. And both Emperor and Sangan get in for some damage. And again, this is pre-Errata Chaos Emperor. And then the nice burn damage for game. This was a sweet victory for Chaos. Very nice. So go second. And again, not looking too great. The Cine could be important if there's another Light and Darkness Dragon. So, okay, we're still in it. Pot of Greed, Snatch Steal, like in hindsight, kind of like an insane opening hand. But Light and Darkness Dragon says no. So, Cine in Graveyard, and that kind of makes the Light and Darkness Dragon null and void. Useless, I guess. So I could potentially capitalize again on this with BLS in hand, Pot of Greed, Snatch Steal, Monster Reborn. I could potentially go for a game, right? If I'm somewhat lucky with that Pot of Greed. Maybe getting, like, you know, Light and Darkness, at least Light and Dark in the graveyard. So draw 2, Witch, Witch as well, and Emperor, but sadly there is no big play ready. So Crash with Witch, and Redux is summoned. Yeah, we can go for the tokens. And am I going to tribute Dracossack? I probably okay, I keep the tokens. Okay, I guess that's okay. Maybe I could have tributed Dracossack in hindsight. I mean, Heavy Storm is again worst case scenario, right? But Heavy Storm was there, and that's kind of unfortunate. I guess the Dracossack was that big beat stick, I guess. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Tsukuyomi is side decked, I think. Yeah, it's a side deck card for the deck. It was like an out back then for Yogun, for example. And here, were there any other options? Maybe Tribe? Tribe is, you know, you can search Tribe off of Witch. Tribe would have been able to discard one of my lights in hand. I think BLS is a light, Emperor is a dark, I think so. So I would have been able to go for Emperor, but again, like, what were my choices, or what would have been my choices? I think I always would have lost the game, especially being so low on life points and no follow-up plays. And, you know, Emperor being that big beatstick on field is not going to do anything against the deck that can, you know, go for a rank 7 exceed play, go for Big Eye and capitalize on your Emperor. So yeah, it's rough. Game number 4, use Confiscation and see the hand. And I was like, I'm like, okay, let's quickly, you know, pick a move. So I kind of feel, show that I'm comfortable leaving the EEV in hand. So I go for Lead, and maybe I should have discarded the EEV in hindsight. So go for, yeah, eventually, you know, Dracossack hits the field, and I go for a set. Which one? Which? Yeah, I did set Witch. Search Cine, again, just in case. But we see what's coming. I think it's definitely the correct play still. I mean, the rulers are such, you know, so free advantage, free resources, so you can definitely use EEV call spells and, you know, basically get free information about my hand as well. And I'm setting Reaper, I think, which again is just going to fall for Dracossack. And there's multiple rulers in graveyard. There is a 7-star sword in hand, and this should be game. Like, the Cine is not going to do anything, and Scientist, the same, is not going to do anything, sadly. Tempest is top decked, and that's a nice top deck, since I think Tempest was the only one not used here in this turn, so sadly. But kind of expected, and very similar to the votes that we've seen before. You know, 20% for Chaos kind of feels somewhat, you know, represented here in the outcome. So next matchup, we have Emancibators versus Dinosaurs. Again, very similar age between both these decks. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.